Oh, wow. I'm not even going to try to fight it. Am I okay? Actually, look cute. 'Cause some days I come in here and I forget that I'm doing Facebook Live.
I went home and did this. There was nothing on there before.
I won't even watch myself. I'll listen to the audio portion.
I
I
hear
will
you.
not look at myself.
Well, I just think we always, when we look at ourselves, we're not usually animated. So you
Right.
see your face when it's all animated and you're
Yeah.
talking and making
The different-
expressions. It's like, oh my goodness, do I
It's a
look
different
like
ball
that?
game.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
All right. I'm ready, Harry. All right. Okay. And this is the show on 103.5 FM, WNHHLP, NewHavenIndependent.org. And I need to get the piece that I'm supposed to read within the half hour or 20 minutes after the show starts. So I'm doing that. All right, Harry, I'm ready. Thank you for joining us on the show. My name is Michelle Turner, and I have the good fortune of being the host of this, I guess, almost 3-year-old program, huh, Harry? Just about 3 years old. So it's always a pleasure to welcome the New Haven community into the show, as well as all of the support of the listeners who have been hanging in with me all across the country, not only in New Haven. Of course, I love my community. Of course, I love New Haven. But in fact, all the folks who are listening all over and in the UK. So thank you very much. We are in the company of Fish. And Fish of Greater New Haven is an organization that packs groceries, makes deliveries, and it's called Food and Service to the Homebound. And I have the good fortune of having its executive director here for me today. I'm cheating, as you can tell. I'm looking at their website. But Jillian is here.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you for having me. I'm really delighted to be here.
And I'm so glad that you can make it at the last minute.
We make time for things that are important.
Indeed.
Yes.
So give me your last name and your title.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so it's Jillian Crowley. I'm the executive director of Fish of Greater New Haven. And you're absolutely right. We're very proud of our backronym, which is Food and Service to the Homebound. And we just developed that in the last few years, but it says exactly what we do.
So talk about the founding or the history, if you can, of Fish.
Yes, absolutely. Fish is a really venerable organization. We've been around 50 years.
Wow, really?
50 years in New Haven addressing food insecurity in one form or another. So many, many people in the community have a great love for our organization and know what an impact we've had on people over the years. So typically, or in the past, when the organization was first put together, it was just a bunch of community members and neighbors coming together to support one another. And within the first 3 or 4 years, it moved into focusing on food insecurity and delivering emergency groceries. And then in probably the last 4 to 5 years, we've made this a little more specific and utilized many, many partner agencies that let us do our work. And we deliver groceries to people who can't get out of their house to access a traditional food pantry.
Now,
So, yeah.
is that New Haven centric or?
It is New Haven centric, but we have been in West Haven co-sharing a space, leasing a space from Marrakesh for the last 18 months.
Okay.
So we now serve New Haven, West Haven, and Hamden.
Oh, wonderful. So you have spread out a little bit.
We have.
Because the mission remains the same, right? No matter what.
That's exactly right. And I really made that my point of emphasis when I came to be director 2 years ago, that I felt that there were other communities that were also in need in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very fortunate to have some very good data analytics. And we know that 88% of our clients are still in New Haven. But we know that the need in Hamden and West Haven is great. And we're proud to be able to help in that circumstance as well. Because, a lot of the folks that we help may, encounter a disability or some other condition that causes them to have great difficulty leaving their homes.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, many of the people that we serve, are kind of isolated. They don't have a lot of family or friends or an extensive network around them. Sometimes we're that one agency that's able to very practically and directly reach out to someone who's really in need with a really simple solution. We deliver 2 weeks of groceries.
Okay.
It's just simple. 2 weeks of groceries. We deliver them once a month using a volunteer corps.
So how does that work? I mean, you said there's a volunteer corps.
Yes.
But do you get grocery lists from people, or do you just...
No.
Is it sort of generic, or how does it
Everybody
work?
receives the same groceries.
Okay.
Everybody receives the same groceries. We work really hard to be very cognizant of nutritional needs and dietary restrictions. So it's very, very healthy food. It's very nutritionally dense, is like what we like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Minimally processed. We just introduced fresh produce. We partner with Maceros Farms in Woodbridge, and they give us their surplus crops for some of our clients. We have other distributors in town who help us with produce. So now we offer a very full complement of food, including about 5 or 6 pounds of proteins, so fish, poultry, and frozen meats. So it really is, we're proud to say, a 2-week offering of meals.
And how long does this go on?
We operate 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month. I should say 5 days a week, excuse me. 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month. We are a full-time pantry. We serve about 400 households in the area, comprised of about 800 individuals. And the thing that's amazing is we do all that with one full-time employee, even on part-time. Yes, so we have hundreds of volunteers. And that is something that speaks to the validity of the program, because many of our volunteers are people from the community, as is a lot of the food that we receive. So 40% of the food we get comes from community food drives.
And it's
Your
local,
Kiwanis,
which is great.
Your churches, your schools. New Haven Public Schools have been a great booster of ours, faith-based community. So we know that when we think about what that really means in terms of us being a distributor of healthy food, is that the community loves what we're doing because we get tons of food from them.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing process. We try to organize it. Everybody likes to give it Thanksgiving. We try and spread it out through the year a little bit.
No Easter or any of those kind of holidays?
We try to shy away from the more religious holidays.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving is a really easy swing for us.
Right.
It's an American tradition. It speaks of, community and love and sharing. And so that's the one that we choose to emphasize the most. But we deliver year round. So Easter week, you get a delivery. Christmas week, you get a delivery. So.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking not so much religion as much as it is holidays that we're known to gather and eat.
Yes.
So.
Well, and it's an interesting breakout of our client base. So 1/3 of our clients are elderly seniors.
Okay.
And then 1/3 of our clients are adults and 1/3 of our clients are children. So for about 2/3 of the group of people, yes, they would be celebrating holidays together, and that would be a part of the tradition. But for many of our clients, there is not an extended family around. So we're providing for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
So how do you hook into the farms? Or is that a lengthy process?
It's like anything else. You start with the first step and then you add on to it. we were actually contacted by the community garden from Southern Connecticut State University one evening 2 years ago, because we were the only place that was still open at 4 o'clock on a Friday, and they brought us a ton of produce.
Wow.
We've nurtured that relationship. We received produce from Common Ground High School, which we're really grateful for, Massaros Farms, Carbonella and DeSarbo, the distributors on Long Wharf. They donate to us.
Who've been around forever.
They are very civic-minded. So, you know, it's a... it was an area that I saw was an easy swing for improvement, was to improve the nutritional content of the deliveries by having more fresh produce. Because, of course, as you could imagine, many of our clients also have dietary restrictions or fragile health.
Right.
So fresh produce is like such a key to that. And so we just made an emphasis for it. We made it a priority. I got the backing of my board. They supported my decision. And, you know, one of the things that's kind of cool is that particularly in terms of the local farms, when they get bumper crops, they get tons of food. And we're the only organization in town that is literally delivering 5 days a week. So if you've got something that's pretty ripe, we can get it into someone's home.
And that's why I was saying it's good that you have a real local connection, because you don't have to wait a day or two. You can deliver the next day fresh
produce. That's a
produce.
point that I make very carefully to any of the growers that are out there. Yes, we are able to put it in a person's home within 24 hours or however many days are left in the week from when we get it. Yeah, so we've had a lot of really good response from it, but we know there's more work to be done because a lot of people have kind of lost the art of knowing how to prepare fresh produce. And so we are now looking into trying to find ways to supply, you know, better recipes or maybe even cooking demos for people so that they can feel more comfortable using some of this fresh produce that they might not be familiar with. Yeah, like
fresh
beets.
Produce. Yeah, and put it online on a social media page, on your social media page. Here's what we're doing this week with fresh produce.
Yes.
I'm not going to charge you for that idea.
Thank you. That's a fabulous idea. It's true. Yeah, there's so many ways to get the message out these days.
Yeah,
it's really been fun. It's been a wonderful opportunity to really grow a program that is really loved by the community and really does like just basic direct service great work. Yeah. And you know, we have so many partners that help us in this activity. I mean, I mentioned the people from the community. I mean, even my hairdresser from Capture Salon, and she's got a bunch of her stylists that come and they pick one lunchtime a week and a month, and they come out.
And they come
and they make a bunch of deliveries. They love it. They have a great time.
On average, how many volunteers do you have? You said over 100. Is that pretty consistent, or?
Yes. Yeah, it really is. So the other bulk of our volunteers are from the partner agencies that we work with, like Marrakesh, Chapel Haven, Ben Haven, Opportunity House, Kennedy Center. There are so many of them that without them, we would not be able to do our work. But to me, this is where the magic really happens because all of the organizations I just mentioned work with people with cognitive impairments. And so we give a real success model for this cohort of people to be able to really be engaged, to socialize with each other, to, you know, refine their skills, their interactions.
Networking.
And it's a wonderful thing to realize the pride and agency that people can receive from helping someone else in need. And so a lot of the job coaches will try and encourage their, you know, their organization to allow these groups to come in even twice a week. So then one time they might be doing the packing, and then 2 days later they might be doing the deliver. They can experience
a little bit of everything that goes on within the facility.
Exactly. And for groups that work with people with cognitive impairments, it's often hard to be able to realize how tuned in they are and how aware they are of what's going on around them in some cases. But this is a niche that works really well in that way because helping someone else is just such a fundamental human thing.
And it's engaging for them, too.
It is very much a social component. It really
helps them socialize.
It is a really wonderful social component. We're very proud of the atmosphere that we set and, you know, the environment that we create to make everyone feel respected and welcomed and appreciated for who they are, where they are.
So $7?
Yeah.
$7 a month. I give you $7 and you turn that into 2 weeks worth of grocery?
Yes.
Really?
It's pretty amazing. We kind of ruin the statistics when they try and measure what the cost is of feeding people. But, there's no other program out there that's delivering groceries. And there's no other program out there that's delivering groceries that 40% of them come to me free. So the metrics are unique to the model of fish, but the impact is dramatic. And so one of the things that I like to say is that, regardless of whether or not $20 is what you want to donate or $200 is what you want to donate, every one of those contributions is leveraged to the maximum stretch that it can go. And we really make use of our supporters' donations very carefully.
Yeah.
And so, yes, our cost to deliver a meal is very, very low because there's virtually very little overhead. We purchase from the Connecticut Food Bank, and we purchase CSA shares from Massaro's and probably get 5 times more than what we ever purchase because of their bumper crops. So it's a crazy math. And if we had to pay drivers and pay fleets of delivery people and pay people to stock our shelves and help us unload the food bank truck, it would just not happen.
Yeah.
The money would become very expensive then.
So your website says you can donate any of the following food types, and it gives a breakdown. So it's everything. Hi, Paul. Bye, Paul. From boxes of cereal.
Low sugar.
Low sugar.
Please.
Canned vegetables, low sodium. Canned fruit. Shelf-stable milk. 1 to 2% or reduced fat. Tuna fish. Soup.
Those
Brown rice preferred or other dry grains. I don't have my glasses on. Canned stew, crackers, beans, black, lentil, kidney, nuts, almonds, pecans, peanuts, walnuts, and of course unsalted. Oatmeal, rolled oats, steel cut or old fashioned, peanut butter and jelly, reduced sugar, instant potatoes, instant milk, fruit snacks, mac and cheese, pasta, whole wheat, sprouted grain, quinoa, or gluten-free, spaghetti sauce, fruit, and coffee. So that's a pretty good list.
It is a pretty good list. And, thanks for saying that. That's our wonderful program manager, Jackie Spieler. She has done a beautiful job trying to give people guidance on how to help us in more meaningful ways so that no offense to Fruit Loops, but we would prefer not to receive those. But we're happy with donations. But the point is, people often want guidance to know how they can help in the most meaningful way. And so we're happy to give that. But we're also happy to receive, I got to tell you, when somebody donates a box of Ghirardelli brownies and we deliver that to somebody, I guarantee you they are not disappointed. So that's the proper list. And people usually have a sense of where they can be a little bit, more indulgent, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yes, we definitely like to create a success model for people that either want to do food drives, want to volunteer with us, people who donate to us, the people who come to us with their time. And so we find that if you make it easy for people to plug in and it's efficient and it's satisfying and rewarding, then people are really motivated to come back. And that's one of the crazy successes we've had, is that our volunteers stick to us like glue. We are so lucky. We've had people that have worked for the organization, giving their time for decades, literally. So it speaks to the efficiency of the operation and the satisfaction people get from helping a neighbor in need. And, it's a great way to support our work. There's a lot of different ways people, can be involved in their community.
Yes.
And this is just one of many. It's one of many. But, we're really proud of the fact that in the 50 years we've been here, that speaks to such longevity. So as it happens this year, we will be celebrating our 50th golden anniversary with the Goldfish Gala on September 25th, which is a Tuesday. So please keep an eye on our website. We'll be able to have a live link to buy tickets. It'll be at Anthony's Ocean View. Fish has never had a gala, and this is our one celebration of that. We do not expect to be doing them annually, so we're hoping everybody comes in big numbers and has a lot of fun. It's going to be very informal, fun, engaging, and you're going to be supporting a terrific, terrific cause.
Now, when you talk about 50th anniversary, what should we expect more than like small things that you're doing to recognize the 50 years, or is the gala it? Or gala?
Yeah, I'm always
gala,
with that.
Gala.
Gala, me too. Vase, vase, which one, right? We'll have a few other events during the year. I usually host a tennis tournament at Oaklade Tennis Club. They donate the facility to me and let me do a tennis tournament there once a year. So that'll be also in celebration of our 50th. And there'll be a few board-sponsored events as well. So they're working on those.
That's Absolutely. Wonderful.
Well, we find that it's not unusual when we're out in the community talking about the great work that we do to encounter people that will say, my cousin got fish a long time ago, or I got fish a long time ago, or my mother, you used to help my mom when she broke her hip and she couldn't get out of the house. And those are the stories that make you realize that not everybody is necessarily going to need our services forever. But when we can meet people in their moment of need and take some of that stress and pressure out of their life, both nutritionally and economically, we know that it's really an important game changer for many, many people.
And believe it or not, when you do something like that, when you reduce a huge stressor in people's lives, 9 times out of 10, they heal better because they don't have that emotional bug.
That emotional stressor that's causing things not to heal as quickly, or for them to be able to adhere to their medical protocols. Or just the effects of toxic stress are pretty well documented at this point. And I think that we are just so gratified that such a simple activity can have such a huge impact. And if you think about it in your own life, though, food is such a fundamental thing. It's such a representation of community and well-being and health. And, it represents gathering and communion and all those kinds of things. So to be able to satisfy even a portion of that need for a vulnerable population is really meaningful. It is. And we're not the only people that are really passionately engaged in the food insecurity movement. That's for sure. But we're the only ones that are delivering. And so it's a real niche, you know?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we talk about a lot is keeping the integrity of the program as top of mind, because people have to know that the people that we are able to serve are small in number because of their dire circumstances. And so needless to say, it's a very desirable service, but one of the things that we're really happy about is that every single caller that calls into the fish hotline, we're in 211, we get referrals from all the social service agencies. We either accept them into our program real time, no waiting list, or we refer them to a local pantry that can help them, or a soup kitchen that can help them right away. So
even if you can't assist,
we make sure they find help.
You make sure they find someone who can.
Absolutely. And I've got to give out a shout out to Jim Sonnet, who is the most amazing volunteer. This person spends about 18 hours a week, 4 days a week at Fish, doing all my intakes, answering all the phone calls. And he's amazing. He really is.
Wow.
He's very compassionate, very kind, and a wicked sense of humor. So
which you need in certain situations.
People love we have clients that actually call just to talk to him because he makes them laugh. And, there's never anything wrong with laughing.
No, you need it.
Yeah. It's so true.
You're listening to the show on WNHH-LP 103.5 FM. Yes, we're broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. And right now, we're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and newhavenindependent.org. We're also streaming live video. Yeah, so if you see me, my hair looks a little better today. Live on Facebook Live. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/newhavenindependent, or go to your own Facebook page and look us up. And you will find not only my program, but plenty of good live programming from WNHH. On the show with me is the executive director of Fish, and we are discussing the organization itself And eventually we'll get into how you can donate. But right now we're talking about the organization and how it works and what they do in the New Haven community. And they also have 2 offices now, one in Hamden and one in West Haven. Okay. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. And she kind of frowned a little bit when I said offices.
Our delivery range covers.
That's their delivery range.
Yeah, our pantry is in West Haven. We, as I mentioned, we sublet a space from Marrakesh, which is one of our key partner agencies as well.
Which is great.
Yes, and I was unfamiliar with that, that tradition of, day programs going out into the community and being able to contribute back to the community. I know a lot of nonprofits also do benefit from, that interaction and that opportunity to serve. But, we were just very fortunate that Marrakesh had some extra space that they were willing to sublet to us. And as it turns out, it's turned out to be a really nice partnership. It works really well.
So not only do you have volunteers who help collect the food and help you put it up, but you have what you call delivery teams.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. How does that work?
So aside from the community partners like Marrakesh and Chapel Haven, we have dozens of individuals who come in anywhere from once a month to once a week. We have 2 alders that deliver for us every week, Sal DeCola and Frank Douglas. They are our regular steady eddies. So what we find are that because the operation is pretty well organized and it's a pretty smoothly running machine, it's really easy for people to just kind of pop in, grab their delivery, and in less than an hour and a half, they're done door to door. So they will go out and make approximately, 2 to 5 stops.
Okay.
But they're all, really closely located together.
Yeah.
So you're
same area.
Right in the same area. And we know that our clients are really grateful for the interaction because, we hear back from our volunteers a lot that, they strike up these conversations they'd never have the opportunity to have otherwise, and maybe hear a little bit of someone's story or understand a little more of, how somebody could be in this circumstance where they are needing that kind of food support.
Yeah.
And we have people who have worked their whole lives and have had their pensions cut. We've had people who, on some strange level, apparently can't qualify for SNAP anymore because it's getting so much harder to qualify.
Yeah.
Or I can tell you the thing that makes us all just want to rip our hair out is $16 a month. Yep, I get SNAP. I get $16 a month, which, it's almost an insult. It seems like it probably costs more to cut a check for $16 than it could help a person.
Yeah.
So we know that not everybody that we help is someone who has always been on SNAP or something like that.
Right.
There's all sorts of circumstances that people can find themselves in where there's not a big distance between them and really being in critical need. And so one of the things that we love about the program is that it's really, really nimble. And so, for instance, when we met with the VA, the Herrera Center over in West Haven, they focus on rehousing vets. So their program's called VASH, VA Supportive Housing. And one of the things that we talked about with them is that any recently housed vet, regardless of disability, for 6 months, we want to be able to serve that person so they have one less thing to have to navigate as they go back into being housed and joining back into society.
That's excellent.
And we do this also with Columbus House. And so the thing that becomes very interesting about this is sometimes there are a lot of mental health issues and other issues that people are combating that might have brought them to homelessness.
And sometimes I think it's only been within the past few years that the general public has made that connection, that these are not people who are just down on their luck, so to speak, or, they did something. It's really a great piece of behavioral health, is really a great piece of why sometimes people end up on the street.
100% true.
And not to mention the fact that Connecticut closed a lot of facilities where a lot of people who did not have family
ended
up.
the typical support network that maybe you or I would just assume would always be in place for us, for people that either are displaced or they move, or maybe they're being reintroduced from being incarcerated. They can be plopped in an area where they have no support structure.
Absolutely.
And so we love the fact that we can be very nimble and really being able to adapt the program to certain populations of need, and additionally be a resource for these social agencies that have had so many of their resources shredded.
Yeah.
So you're
really scrapped
Let's
down.
say you're a caseworker and you're dealing with somebody that has multiple issues. Maybe there's, frail health and food insecurity and extreme poverty. But what can you do? You've got so few resources to be able to help this person through this stage in their life. That's when we really feel proud about being able to step in and partner with these agencies and say, for a period of time, we can help that person. So we receive referrals from Yale New Haven Health when people are discharged if they have a broken hip and they're going to go home alone. Yep, we can do that. So
that's great.
It's really nice. We like to be able to address that one component. It's so nice because we have one program. We're such a tiny, like in terms of the nonprofits of the world, we're like so little, but we have such an outsized impact. And it's partially because of the areas I mentioned of having so many donations and being so fortunate, but also because it's just a very simple thing.
Yes.
Other than the frozen protein that we send and the produce, it's just groceries. It's so easy.
Well, I like to call things like that small but mighty, because
that's the one I'm stealing.
Yeah, you can have
it.
You're
welcome.
Thank
you, Michelle. I love it. That is us. I like to say we're the little engine that could,
because you're doing so much.
We really are.
You're doing so much.
Do you mind if I'd like to just read a letter that we got in March from one of our clients.
Oh, nice. Please.
Would that be okay?
That's fine.
So this is a client that we've been serving for about a year, maybe a year and a half. My name's Stephanie, and I'm a New Haven resident living with my disabled husband and 2 children. Our income is considered poverty level. I'm beyond grateful for the assistance we receive from Fish. They are among the kindest people I've ever known. From the office staff to the volunteers who deliver to my home monthly, I've been brought to tears many times by their generosity. Every single item they deliver we use. From the milk to the cereal to the meat, I would be out of these items by mid-month, if not for Fish. I can't express enough the gratitude for this organization. Simply put, we would not survive without Fish. Sincerely, Stephanie.
That's great.
And
that's great.
This is one story of many, many, many that are very similar. So we're lucky. We're lucky. We feel lucky to be able to help people and meet them at a point in their lives where sometimes something as simple as a bag of groceries is what can let you stabilize long enough to
makes
collect
all
your
the
thoughts,
difference.
Figure out
Makes
what your next
all the
move
difference.
is. Yeah.
So and just let me say that Stephanie is a very special person because she really sees the value in what you do. And sometimes people can't always express that.
No doubt. And, honestly, Michelle, one of the things that we battle with every day is the knowledge that sometimes the people that are the hardest to serve are the ones that need us the most. And there's any number of reasons that comes into play, but we're committed to serving everyone that fits into our criteria of being homebound, whether they're easy to serve or they're happy and grateful or whether they're cranky and they complain constantly. It doesn't matter. As long as they answer their phone and they're home to accept their deliveries, we make sure that we explain to our volunteers, so-and-so is really having a hard time. This person may not be real friendly, but they need us badly.
Right.
And so just give them a smile, leave the food, and know that you're doing great work. And that's one area that I've got to say I just can't give enough props to my program manager, Jackie Spieler. She so understands that and so effectively communicates that to our volunteers that they really have a very satisfactory time, whether people are thrilled to see them or not.
Or at least At least in that moment, they may not be. But
illness and pain do not make for cheerful, happy people.
Not always, no.
It's a real test of wills to keep your composure and your positive outlook when you're in horrible pain or you've had terrible medical circumstances.
And it's difficult, like you said, between their emotional stability, having to take the meds, being concerned about whether they're going to get their meds because of whatever situation.
Yes.
They have a lot going.
We deal with a very, very vulnerable population. I mean, the other caveat that I haven't said is because of all the free food that we do get, not only from community donations, but also from the government, all people that Fish serves are either extremely or very low income. So that is the other caveat. Because otherwise, I guess you use, Peapod, right?
Right. Yeah. Or you have the luxury of getting in your car and going to the grocery store.
If you're able-bodied, absolutely.
And I think a lot of times we able-bodied sort of take that for granted.
Of course. It's just, since birth, that's what we've known.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine anything else. I had a rude awakening, I'm not going to say how many years ago, but I was in college and I broke my wrist.
Oh, wow.
And so, I didn't drive or I didn't have a car.
Yes.
But I still had to get around. I still had to get to class. I had to dress myself.
Oh, my gosh.
And I had to
brush your teeth
brush
with the
my
wrong
teeth.
hands.
And so all of that I happily took for granted.
Exactly.
Right?
Then all of a sudden that light bulb goes
and
off.
And then you've got this cast and you're in one position and you can't move your hand for like a month.
Oh my gosh.
So now you're sticking things in there to make it, just scratch and,
yes,
you're shaking the dust out and, but seriously, that.
And think of how minor that was.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I was in healing. And so I had to go to therapy. I had to learn how to use my wrist and all that all over again.
Goodness.
But it wasn't permanently debilitating.
And so, of course, that is one of the things, like when I say we're honored to serve, we're happy to serve, it sounds a little ironic because I should not be happy that this is a necessity in such a rich nation. These services should be available to anyone that needs them. That is not the case. But the one thing that is a little bit different is that for the most part, Fish clients remain Fish clients because it's a permanent condition that brought them to me in the first place. Although I will say one of the things that we are continually amazed by are the people that call in, and I'm telling you, like 10 a month will call in and say, you know what? You helped me when I needed it, and I am better now. I'm in a better place. So I want you to help someone else.
Oh.
So I'm letting you know I don't need your services anymore. And we're just always so humbled and amazed when we hear that. It's such a validation of the respect that the program has in the community. People recognize it,
And how people are appreciative of what you've done for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
so nice
big.
to hear that. Please help someone else now.
Yeah.
I'm in a better place. That's cause to celebrate in our office.
Now, not to knock your other sponsors and not to cast a light or bring a particular person out, but in your on your website it says Fish loves the Shoebird, and that caught my attention.
Oh my!
So can you talk a little bit about that and
Michelle,
what that provided
so
for you?
You asked me that. This is just wild. This is wild. So I mentioned a third of the kids in our program are kids, and for a few years now, one of our wonderful supporters has been giving us art boxes to give to the kids at Christmas. So I guess we do a little bit of the holiday thing. So yes, we were delivering gifts to the kids in our program, these beautiful art boxes. And this year, the Schubert stepped up and said, Kelly Wazzardo over at the Schubert said, we do holiday trees here. We should do one for Fish. They've been a partner of ours in several different ways. We've collaborated on different projects where they do the Kids' Day. We've supplied literature and bags and stuff, and they've allowed us to have little booth when they've had some popular plays come and talk to people about the program. So we've had a really nice relationship. Mm-hmm. So they decided that they were going to conduct this gift drive. And I had no idea what a holiday tree was. So Kelly told me the whole thing, how to do the whole thing. So I used a group of Yale volunteers, first-year students from Focus. They called through each one of our parents and asked, what would your kid like for Christmas? What's their favorite color? What sport do they like? What? And we gave every kid in our program a customized Christmas gift.
Nice.
So it was really
a
huge
awesome.
Project.
Yeah.
That was just... it makes your heart overflow to realize how people really want to know how to help. They want to know what to do, and it's within the context of what everybody's capabilities are, but everybody can do something. And that was the one that I really saw, people that are volunteers at the Schubert, people that, maybe, are not crazy rich people. They really dug deep and were so generous with us. It was just, we couldn't thank them enough. I mean, how could you?
Right.
To have a mom answer the door and just cry and say, if it wasn't for this, there would be no Christmas. So, you just keep doing it. That's it. You keep putting one foot in front of the other and trying to make the world a little better place. And I'm so glad that you saw that. Yeah, the Schubert's a great organization. They do a lot. They give back to the community a lot.
So what do you and the board foresee for Fish's future? I can't say, I'd like to say, and I'm going to say it, but I really don't expect you to answer the question of what's in store for Fish's next 50 years.
Yeah, that'll outpace me, that's for sure.
But what is it that you see down the road? What's the long-term goal?
We just had a board meeting last night and that topic came up. I think that because the program has evolved since the 50 years that it's been in operation, I think that we want to seek to continue to be nimble and adaptable. Mm-hmm. We're always going to be involved in food insecurity and trying to alleviate that in a practical and efficient way. And I think that my personal dream, honestly, is that this is so scalable. This is all about community coming together and having a few people be there full time to order the stuff and write the grants and make the contacts and do that stuff. But the reach is so far beyond what 1.5 full-time people can do. This could be done in any community anywhere. And so for me, what would I hope? I would hope that we would find a way to open another Fish, maybe in the valley, that's much more underserved. Or different areas of the state and the country that are underserved. Because the magic happens in bringing in all these different threads of your community and making the tapestry that happens with bringing people that normally don't come together, And the whole new movement in having people with cognitive impairments be out in society and interacting with us and finding ways for us not to be alarmed or put off or to feel uncomfortable interacting with people like this. This is just such a perfect platform for that activity to happen, for those interactions to happen in a meaningful and positive way. That my husband and I laugh about it. We're like, I hope somebody steals the idea. I hope every city that needs a Fish steals the idea and does it.
Gets one.
Yeah.
Everyone that needs one gets one.
It's not rocket science, but it's amazing what it does.
Well, you all have made it a science because you've been around for 50 years.
Yeah, we're pretty, I didn't think it up. I'm just keeping it going.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say,
I've put some refinements in there, but
the
brilliance of it started with other people for sure. But I think that the thing that's beautiful about it is that, retirees are a huge group of our volunteers. This is a great way to feel like you're doing something great. And it's 2 hours a month, 2 hours a week. It's not exactly like a huge commitment. But yeah, I think that we like to say that what we do is a science, but bringing people into the program is much more of an art. Because it's really hard to know that that the integrity of the program is always, able to be honored.
Yes.
And so, that's kind of for us one of our challenges. We would never want to not comfort the very communities we're trying to serve.
We're trying to serve, yeah.
And by having someone feel like, well, how come I can't get that? So-and-so gets it.
Right.
But one of the things that, going back to your mental health topic, one of the things that we do work with is with several of the mental health agencies in town.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've learned to say, not everything that qualifies someone for the fish services is readily apparent to the eye. So
Yes.
You'll have to trust me.
Yes.
That person needs my service,
So if one wants to volunteer or donate or go to the gala,
Come to the gala, the Goldfish Gala. Yes. Well, our website is really easy. It's fishofgreaternewhaven.org.
Mm-hmm.
So we take volunteer requests through there. There's a whole nice little portal for volunteers that might be interested. There's a donate link there. We also are always looking to have people come and volunteer or to participate in some of the things we do in the community, like the gala or some of our other community activities. Another one Fish will be involved in this summer through Arts and Ideas, and it's being organized by the United Way, is the June 21st Day of Action from United Way, and it is also World Music Day. So we're going to be in Schubert Alley, and we're going to have games for kids.
Oh, nice.
And we're hoping that we're going to be swarmed with kids from all the outlying areas so we can give them some literature on how they can conduct a food drive at their school.
Nice.
And maybe they can all get some of the joy of helping another neighbor in need.
Nice. Jillian Crowley is the executive director of Fish, and go to their website. That's how you can donate. That's how you can volunteer, and you can do everything from drive, although the drivers will probably not be crazy about you coming in, only because, and I'm joking here,
Yeah.
but only because you might be taking their clientele away.
That's how we expand. That's our choke point. More drivers means more service.
More
so
service.
We get to bring more people in the program as we have more delivery people. So yes, we'll expand to meet the need of volunteers that want to serve.
Again, Jillian, thank you so much for coming in.
Michelle, thank
Last
you.
minute.
And thank
Really
you, Jaron, for making this happen.
Yeah. Shout out to Jaron Travers, because Jaron Travers is the one that brought this together for me in the last moment, she and Ife Gardine. So I thank you both for that. I have a show this week. And you've been listening to the show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. Yes, we do. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and newhavenindependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. And all you have to do is go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent, or just go to your own Facebook page and look us up. After all, you never know who's going to be on the show. Thank you so much for listening. I want to shout out all my Aggies that have been listening. I want to shout out my cousins in the Midwest. I usually don't do this. I do it like once a year because they've been pretty faithful. If they don't hear me live or see me live, then they go to SoundCloud. So it's much appreciated for all of the support coming from you all. I thank you for that. And again, Jillian, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
It's the show. WNHH, newhavenindependent.org, 103.5 FM. Bye, Harry. Thank you. We're done. But we're still on.
Okay.
We're still on camera.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
So you can say hello.
Hello.
Jillian, thank
Hi,
you
Joanna.
so much.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so grateful I have a volunteer who's helping me on Facebook. I should have shouted out to her, right?
Yeah, but we can put that in.
She's very shy.
We can put that in.
All right.
Promote the show.
Oh,
So let us take a picture. Or you can take a picture right there.
yeah. Could we get one of both of us?
Yeah,
I could
you
put
can
her.
come out here.
All right.